the census. And out of that census, we have to redraw maps to align with population growth in certain areas of the state. So some facts on the population growth. The population of Texas grew 20.6% from 2000 to 2010, from 20.8 million to 25.1 million. Wilson County population increased 32.4%. It grew from 32,400 to 42,900. Guadalupe County grew over 40%. So my district going forward was one of the only districts in the state. There being 254 counties, there were only 9 districts that grew by more than 40%, and mine was one of them. And we can see the growth in western Guadalupe County and then northern Wilson County coming out of San Antonio, and it's going to continue to grow. And over the next 10 years, I would expect we'll see those same kind of numbers. So going into redistricting, we'll get statewide numbers of 25 million people, and simply divide that number by the number of state representatives we have, which is 150, and you come up with an ideal district of 167,000 constituents in the state reps district. You divide that number by 31 senators, they have 811,000 constituents in the state senate district. And what's interesting, when you think about it, we had 4 congressional seats added to the state of Texas this year, which makes their number 36. So, in reality, a state senate district is almost 112,000 people bigger than a U.S. congressional district. And then also the other map we draw is the State Board of Education, which is 15 districts, and that has 1.6 million people in it. That was the only map that was pre-cleared by the Justice Department earlier this summer. So which leads us into kind of where we are right now with redistricting. We passed, it was the first time in history that the state legislature had passed all 4 maps, being the SBOE, the Texas House, Texas Senate, and U.S. Congressional District. Going forward, any redistricting here, it'll happen every time that there are lawsuits filed against the maps that we pass. Whatever party disagrees with what we drew, will offer dissenting opinion against it. It'll eventually wind up in the courts. What we have realized over the last 6 months really is something unprecedented that we have never seen before. So we don't have all the answers because we've never seen it. There's no history of what's happened. So the 3-judge panel in San Antonio in early November redrew the Texas House districts, the Texas Senate districts, and the U.S. Congressional districts. If y'all are familiar with that, they redrew 130 House districts, I can't remember how many Senate districts, and just about every congressional district. So what we asked our Attorney General to do is file a motion to stay those maps. You file a motion to stay with the Supreme Court, which was kind of a long shot because the Supreme Court only issues a stay about 10% of the time. And lo and behold, I can't remember the evening, we were eating dinner in Stockdale, and we got a call and said, the Supreme Court just issued a stay on the maps. We're going, wow, I can't believe this can happen. Now it's a scramble. So what they had changed from redistricting, I was extremely fortunate. My House district, which what we drew would just be Guadalupe and Wilson counties. What the federal court in San Antonio drew remained Guadalupe and Wilson County. So these counties really aren't going to be affected that much by the 3-judge federal panel in San Antonio. But a bunch of other districts were, and people were geared up and already running in a certain district, and then the court has said, no, you don't live in there anymore, you got to run in this one. And I've got friends that are running, and they're just running in circles really right now because they don't know. And in all likelihood, $3 billion in economic output. And that's today. You can only imagine. And everybody's seen the trucks going up and down the highways, and Believe me, I get calls all the time about it. But just think, by 2020, just 9 years from now, 8 years from now, the shale will account for $11.6 billion in gross state product. It'll account for almost 70,000 full-time jobs. And will produce an output of $21.6 billion. Just think of those numbers, it's amazing. From 3 or 4 years ago, 0 jobs, to by 2020, almost 70,000 full-time jobs. So our part of the world's changing, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And it's here to stay. So, you know, it's great economic impact for this part of the state, but along with that comes growing pains, and we just need to help manage those pains as well as we can. Obviously, going forward with the shale, you know, and one of the biggest issues besides budget that we will see every year from here on out with state politics, state legislators, state laws is water and water rights. So it's important that we as legislators and y'all as constituents and Texans, you know, share your opinions and beliefs about how to protect water, ideas that you may have. But like I said, water will be always one of the two most important issues going forward. I think we realized after, you know, the last